Hey man, how's your movie going?
Always on time, always free on time. Hello, everybody. This is Hey Man, how's your movie going? And if you're wondering which movie it is, then you probably haven't seen my previous 5 episodes. I'm Jim Lujan. I'm an animator, storyteller, director, artist, musician, professional fill in the blank. And this is my process diary for the Full Fungus, an animated film that I'm working on. Um, Much of it's contained in here. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. All right. So, enough of the comedy. Now to the real stuff. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. I have some really good updates today, by the way. And Nick, my nephew, says, "Show me that flippin' fungus already." Oh, Nick, you know my fungus. Come on. And Christopher Runciman says, "Gorgeous." And I hope he means me, not just the movie. Either way, I'll take it as a compliment. But yeah, so this weekend, I'm about. Boy, I wish I knew when I started this project. I think I started this project probably January or so. I don't know. I'm like 4 months into it, 3 months into it, 3 months for sure into it. And I have about 5 scenes, 5.5 scenes drawn, and I have one scene fully animated and recorded. And here's another really cool update I have for you. Um, I have something really cool to show you that just recently I recorded vocals with Charlie Rossman. That's right. The Charlie Rossman. That's him, not the guy smiling. That's me because I'm smiling. Um, but we recorded Charlie's about a third of Charlie's vocals. He's playing the lead character named Chino Diamond, who is a private detective or a private investigator. And it was really, really good. I have a lot of material. I went to a coffee shop on Saturday morning and I had a ton of audio to edit from Charlie. Some of the scenes I read Charlie the actual script, and some of the scenes I just told like Charlie just had stuff written down, and then some of the scenes I said, "Go, Charlie, just ad lib, whatever." And so I have a ton. I had hundreds of lines from Charlie, and in the old days, I thought, well, this is going to take me forever, at least a week or two to edit. I edited all of Charlie's dialogue in one day. When I say I edited it, I means I chopped it up. So, for example, um, one of the things I had Charlie do was it's gonna work out really well. I had Charlie record um, multiple just one liners that I could reuse in any scene of the movie. For example, I have probably 5 versions of Charlie saying no, 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 or yes, or maybe, or huh, you don't say. Really? Just reactions like that, so that when Charlie's not there and not in the room to record with me, if I have a scene or if I have somebody else has did their dialogue, I can always add Charlie's reactions, like "Wow, really?" And it'll be more engaged. I don't have to wait to get a hold of Charlie again, although we could always get a hold of Charlie. But so we have tons of those. Also, have his regular lines for about 5 scenes. Yeah, about 5 scenes. And in the old days, I'd take those into a program called Audacity and I would edit them. And now I'm using Audacity, but I figured a way I don't have to select a file, create a new file, paste that file into there, and then edit it. I can just select the file in Audacity and hit E because I made E a shortcut on my computer, and now it goes straight into saving it. So like I just select it and it saves. So just the selected area. So it saved me so much time. I got all of the audio recorded, and I'm very happy with that. So thank you, Charlie, for doing that. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. But yeah, so I'm really happy that I got Charlie's audio ready to go. That means that I have the next 2 scenes fully. I have all the audio I need from, so I can start animating. And that will happen this week sometime. So let's look at some of the comments here, though. Gary says, I want big reveals and spoilers. Well, here's a spoiler. I don't give the big reveals yet. Okay. Who asks that kind of question anyway, besides me? I'm just reading these blind. Han Solo dies. Okay, that's a spoiler. It's just a spoiler. Oh, here we go. But okay, they're just spoiling everything, man. All right. And then Christopher Runciman says, hey there, Malcolm, which I think is really, I think that sums up, I know what he means by that. Hey there, Malcolm. It's just like, it's a lot. It's a lot. All right. So I also wanted to show you, and I have notes, by the way. I wanted to show you some of the recording, hardware that we use, and I actually want to play you a file. I want you guys to tell me if you can even hear these files, okay? One moment, please. So I'm going to play you a clip of Charlie's audio. You guys tell me if you can hear it playing through the computer. All right, here we go. Charlie says,
Bette Midler. How many times can you hear the rose?
Can you guys give me a confirmation if you can hear that okay?
Bette Midler. How many times can you hear the rose?
We're going to play it one more time.
Bette Midler. How many times can you hear the rose?
How clear is that? Does it sound pretty clear? Can you guys hear it? Does it sound like it's far away? Or does it sound muffled, or you guys can't understand it? Just let me know. If that works, then okay. Well, Christopher, how clear is it, you guys? Is it clear? Christopher Runciman's first answer, he says, okay, yes. Okay, you guys can understand. Oh, good. Here, let me give you a couple more samples of Charlie's action. So I'm going to show something here. We recorded, Charlie has an office in La Habra, California. And that's where we recorded at. He has a conference room. It was real. This is what you're going to see here, actually, again. We're in his conference room. These are our natural poses, by the way. We're always like that. So, and we have a lot of laughter. It's almost like an Ed McMahon and Dick Clark blooper reel, because we're just zany. We're so zany. Let's see if you can hear this.
You're saying it's a sure bet, and the shrimp doesn't sound too bad either. Yeah, what the hell? I'm in.
He says, you say it's a sure bet at the beginning, because I know that somebody says it's a sure bet, and then he says,
you're saying it's a sure bet, and the shrimp doesn't sound too bad either. Yeah, what the hell? I'm in.
All right, yeah. I also want to play you one of Deacon Burns' lines here. This is Deacon Burns plays a character named Lewis in an office scene, and he says,
I told you, we ought to beat his ass, Daryl.
That's right, yeah. And one more from Charlie.
So now you got your proof. I'd say your man Gerald is not quite as injured as he claims.
Which refers to the basketball
scene. So now you got your proof. I'd say your man Gerald is not quite as injured as he claims.
There you go. So it's like you're getting the full Fungus experience here. It's almost like you're watching the movie, right? Right. So, all right. So let's move on. Okay. So I want to show you what we recorded that audio with. So for Charlie's audio, we use this very expensive mic. I should probably full screen myself. Let's see here. We use this very, very expensive mic. It is it's a Shure. I'm sure it's a mic. It's a Shure mic, and it looks like a Death Star droid or something. But this mic costs in excess of $50, over $50 cash, American $50. So, anyways, you do not need to buy an expensive hundreds and hundreds of dollar microphone to do recording. You do not need to. And in fact, I'm going to show you another device that we use to record. I've recorded Charlie on this device. This is a little bit more expensive though, but I've recorded Charlie on this device many times, and I record all of my vocals, my voices on this, and I've recorded other people. It's this. This is an iPhone. So you just open up the recording little voice memo thing here. You open that up, and then you hit the little red button there, like this. And you have made your voice sound like you are recording. I am recording as we speak. Yes, I am. Okay, and then you just play back. And you have made your voice sound like you are recording. I am recording as we speak. Yes, I am. It is as easy as that. And then I just airdrop this to myself. So, one of the things I do a lot is I'll be animating I animate in the kitchen, as most great animators do. And I'll be animating a scene, and I'll be like, and especially only if I've done the voice, and then I'm sitting there going, you know what works better if he says this? And I take my phone, walk into the TV room, which has carpet, and I just say blah blah blah. I say the line, airdrop it. By the time I get back to my computer, it's there, and then I just use that line. Sometimes I'll pitch correct it. Sometimes, but you know how that works. All right, and Chris, good observation. Yes, and yes, this microphone does look like a cell phone. You don't have to use it in a cell, but if you do, the guards are going to get really mad. So that's one thing. If you're doing your own film or your own recording, and you're doing voices for something, you do not need to buy a sound booth. You do not need to go out and buy a $200 microphone. You can use your phone. You can use a cheap. In reality, I think this cost probably like $60, $70 maybe with tax. It was not $100. So, and and mics are getting cheaper and cheaper. So, I've used a $200 mic that was lent to me, and that works really well, but it was all bulky, and it had a condenser built into it and all this stuff. And I just find with recording with the software that's available now for free, you can make anything sound good, just about. And I talked with the sound engineer of Revengeance, professional guy, and he said the same thing. He said a lot of it's done in post, and we recorded for Revengeance. We had to record some fill-in lines for Matthew Modine, and we just had him do them on the cell phone because he wasn't at the studio. We just had him record it, and you can't tell. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. So if you're making your own film, do not let the materials dictate what you're going to do. I mean, don't sit and wait like, oh, I have to wait till I get this really expensive material. Yep. So I got 2 things knocked off my list. Okay. So now I want to talk a little bit about the new opening. But before I do that, you have to hide your microphone somewhere awkward to use it in your cell phone in a cell. Gary told me. Gary would know. Yes. So, Gary says that was Private Christopher. Private Christopher. That should be his new name. General Hodges and Private Christopher. A very special relationship. The movie's called Man O' War. Coming to you soon to an adult theater near you. All right, so since last we talked, I got a lot of new artwork. I'm going to be showing you a little bit of that. But the biggest development since the last time we talked is of a multi-million dollar deal for this film. But I don't want to talk about that. We'll talk about that later, another time. I should not drink something that has fruit in it because you will choke. Okay. Since the last time we talked, the opening that you saw with the basketball scene was originally going to be the opening of the film, but I had this great idea come to me for a new opening that ties the film together really well. And I could just picture sitting in the theater and it's going to open a lot stronger into the opening credits. And then the basketball scene is the next thing it just pops into, which is perfect after the credits. That's exactly the feel I was looking for. But this, and I'll tell you more about this opening scene. The opening scene, what I will tell you guys, because you're faithful viewers, is the opening scene is a flashback scene now. So it's something that happens in the 70s that really relates to the whole full fungus idea and everything. And it's really, really cool. And there's some guest voices I want to tell you about later. Once they're recorded, I'll tell you about it. But I do have some artwork from that opening scene. So the opening scene takes place in a grimy New York City apartment. That's a big hint that I'll give you. Again, all of this is subject to change. I can change my mind. A lady is welcome to change her mind anytime she like. And I am too. So the opening scene right now is in a New York City apartment. By the way, if anybody has any grimy New York City apartment photos, please send them to me because I'm doing some research. But on the walls of this apartment are some rock and roll posters. And what I did this morning at the coffee shop in Pasadena, Leanne and I went there and she was working on some stuff for her work, and I was working on the film. And between sips of delicious coffee, I started to design some of the artwork that's going to be on the walls of this said apartment. And it is mostly rock and roll related. So I wanted to show you them. So by the way, all this artwork is on my Patreon too. So you can see that. So the first piece I'll share with you is this. It is a Jeff Beck poster. Tis is. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on that one. That's how you zoom in. Okay. Let me see if this. Oh yeah, I get it like that. All right. So this is basically obviously copied from a real life Jeff Beck poster, but I drew this by hand, my hand. But hey, there's Paul Pate. Speaking of rock stars. So this was this poster was on my cousin Gary. Oh yeah, I know another Gary, not that Gary, but my cousin Gary. It was on his wall, and I remember when I was probably 5 years old going over his house, and I think he was kind of a stoner. And I just remember I was like I didn't know who this guy was. Actually, I must have been like 7 because I could read. I don't think I could read at 5. Although you never know, I might have been born that gifted. I don't know. But anyways, this poster was on his wall, and I hadn't seen it. And so that when it came time to make a poster for this scene, I thought, oh yeah, my cousin Gary had that on his wall in Whittier, California. And so I found it online, and then I just copied it. So this is kind of like a sentimental thing to me. It's actually kind of cool. I actually wouldn't mind having the real poster. If you can find it. It looks just like this. Just type in Jeff Beck poster 1970s. But yeah, it was really cool. But this is on the wall, and as is, I'll show you another one. So these are going to be all, they're not like featured. You know how I roll. So, all right. So this next one is also going to be on the wall. Let's see here. I have a couple I want to show you. Okay. Now this one, I did this one years ago. All right. Yeah, I did this one years ago. It's Stevie. It's Songs in the Key of Life, I believe. But this was on I could not find the art file for this one. I think I had to find it. Where did I find it finally? Oh, I don't even know. In like Google Photos or something. I couldn't. I thought I put it on Instagram, but I don't know. Anyways, yeah, this will be on the wall. This was. I must have done this right when I got my iPad. Actually, I think. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, Stevie's going to be on the wall there too. All right, and then let's see. And also, there's going to be a scene in this opening scene. One of the characters is kind of filtering through, or whatever you see, filing through some albums, and he comes across this one here, I think. Yes, The Lovin' Spoonful. Let's zoom in on that a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, it's such a weird album cover. By the way, great song, right? So can anyone name all the members of Loving Spoonful? I can only name one, and that's John Sebastian, and he's the guy with the glasses. But yeah, Christopher believes in magic. Yeah. So yeah, this there's going to be a couple album covers that are going to be in there, but I just started drawing the artwork. But oh, he got it easy. Yeah, Dave, John, Bingo, and McFluffies. Mr. Fluffies. I'm sorry, not McFluffies. That was their first drummer. So, good job. All right, good job. Let me see if I have some more here. I know I have some more art to show you, but so yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun doing that. The Jeff Beck one, and these two, the Loving Spoonful and the Jeff Beck one, were a lot of fun to do. Yeah. So okay. So speaking of our good friend Christopher Runciman, I have a clip to show you. It's not so much an animated clip, although it has a visual to it, but it is a bit of audio that it's a bit of audio that Christopher recorded. I had Christopher Runciman, who, if you haven't seen Christopher Runciman's live stream, look at the comments. He's right there. Just click on his YouTube page. He does a live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And it's basically like Bob Ross if Bob Ross took a lot of LSD, just an extreme amount. And but it's still Bob Ross. But it's a really great, he draws these crazy one-page comics that are it's almost like improv. Like people give him ideas, they'll name something bizarre. Like I wanted him to draw a horse on a bicycle, playing a guitar on a I forgot, some kind of 4-dimensional some kind of object. I don't know, but anyways, and he did it, and then I think he probably went into a coma because that's ridiculous. But yeah, he's a great artist. I mean, his art alone, you have to see it. It's amazing. And he asked me to collaborate with him on a one page, and I usually don't do comics, but I like the dude, and I'm going to do it, and we'll see what happens with it. Probably sell it for billions of dollars. Billions. Yes, it was a 4th dimensional parallax. Yes, obviously I'm very educated, and I know those terms. You're welcome, Chris. It's all true, all true. So, I'm going to so anyways, I had Chris record some audio of bowling announcers, just a bunch of stuff, a bunch of random stuff. And I'm going to chop that up and play it throughout the full Fungus. It's kind of a running theme that goes through the film. And I took one of the openings. This is going to probably be on the car radio during the basketball scene. However, to Chris's huge surprise, because of time constraints, I chopped it up and I inserted my own character in there, which I think I'm going to do a lot going forward because I like the mix of the two people doing the bowling commentary. But Christopher is the manly voice and I'm the squeaky, mousy voice on this. Let me see if this plays. All right. We're going to play the entire, it's like 20 seconds long, the entire clip. And it sounds a little something like this. No, hold on, I'm not ready. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. We're going to play this.
Jazz Richardson needs a 190 if possible.
Jazz has really been having an issue with his backspin this quarterfinals. He's got to really get a hold of that axis rotation. And he lets it go.
And there it is. The gopher snake strikes again.
Oh, yes.
Now, Christopher's listening to that going, how dare you, Jim? You replaced my dialogue. Don't worry, Chris. On the other ones, it's going to be flip-flopped. It's going to be mostly Chris and then me. But this is just for the opening piece, the first one. Let's hear it again.
Jazz Richardson needs a 190 if possible.
Jazz has really been having an issue with his backspin this quarterfinals. He's got to really get a hold of that axis rotation. And he lets it go.
And there it is. The gopher snake strikes again.
Oh, yes. Does it again.
So, thank you, Chris. That means a lot, Chris. I'm glad you like it. There's going to be more coming up. More Chris, more bowling. I think we'll in the future ones, Chris, when I send you lines or whatever, or if you're improvising lines, I think we should just riff on the gopher snake through the whole film. I think that's a really funny thing. This maybe the same character versus different people. But thank you, Chris. Yeah, I adding my part. Wasn't replacing Chris's lines. It was adding the lines that we didn't have. So, but we have some more stuff coming too. So, and it's going to be, again, it's a 72-minute. I always say that. I don't know how long. 72-minute film. So we'll have lots of room for that. So I'm glad I was able to show that. So, all right. So here we go. So we got that. Ooh, we're moving. So if anybody, this is the part where I wrote Q&A. That's not G&A. That's not guns and, arrosco, but so guns and arroz. If anybody has any questions about the film, shoot, let's go. Let's have the Q&A. Let's bring it on. I'll even play some Q&A music. This is, I'm going to play some light jazz. Might even be Mink Fungus. Okay. So if y'all got any questions, I'd like to help answer those questions. Ooh, hear that? That is some jazz right there. Yeah, you like that Mink Fungus jazz? Yeah. I believe this is Fungus number 5. Ooh, yeah. Let's have a good listen. Let's have a little listen to it, folks. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Mm-hmm. Play it, Danny. All right, the first one's free, but the next one you got to come back and pay for it. All right. Thank you. Okay. Chris is our good friend. Chris is asking, have you ever tried to incorporate a psychological thesis like the trolley argument into your work? Oh, for one shiny moment, I'm going to pretend like I understand what that means. And I'm going to look at the camera very, very considered. And I'm going to articulate my answer because I'm scratching my chin. Then I'm going to pretend like I'm going to say something, but I'm going to stop because I really want to get that thought correct. I'm going to put my hands together, and so it's a sincere answer. Point at the camera like Isaac from the Love Boat and say, why, yes, I have. Yes, I have. And that's how you answer a question. So I honestly don't know what that means, Chris. But no, I obviously haven't. So, Chris, I make cartoons for 9-year-olds that are in trouble with the law. And that's basically my audience. So, trolley goes another way, and a number of people die further down. Well, that sounds scary. I don't make scary movies. Okay. So where are we at? Is there more art to share? Let's see here. Oh, we're doing good on time too. Yes. Like I have to be somewhere. But I want to talk a little bit about character that I play. Can I do that? Can I do that for you kids? Some of you may have seen this on Instagram, on the gram, as I call it. But I play a character named Larry Carlisle. And by the way, Paul says, have you ever considered putting dinner crowd sounds to that jazz? There are dinner sound crowds of that jazz. There's applause and there's audience in the back. You just can't hear it because it's not in super clean stereo. There are crowd sounds on that jazz. They applaud when he plays the little melody lead line. They all clap because they identify it. So thank you, though, Paul. But let's talk a little bit about Larry Carlisle, shall we? My character, Larry Carlisle. Here, I'll play some more jazz, very light jazz in the background while we listen to this. Well, does that sound familiar to you? Wait, let's back that up a little bit. Does this song sound familiar to anyone? It should. Hey man, how's your movie going? But then it goes on. Yeah, that's right. There's more to it. It doesn't stop there. Okay, that's ridiculous jazz. That's not real jazz, Jim. You're playing games with us. Okay, so sorry about that. I am so sorry about that. I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed. Okay. Yes. So Paul says that Larry looks like he has a super smarmy laugh. He does. I'll give you a little bit of a Larry Carlisle's voice right now. He's like this. Larry will be like, hey guys. Yeah, that's right. Welcome back to Cash Grab, the game where greed is all you need, is what you need, or something like that. So it's that side of me. But here, let's look at some of the other questions. Okay. Once again, Chris is on the nose. Yeah, on the spot. He has a current wife that's 40 years to his junior. Well, his current wife, Carol, is probably only 10, 15 years his junior, but I'm sure he has many girlfriends on the side who are probably 40 years or so his junior. So that is very accurate. Very accurate. Okay, here we go. How many pieces are in that jazz quartet? 3 or 4? Yeah, this is a jazz quartet that has like 9 pieces in it. So, but like 6 of them are unplugged. So, meaning they're not plugged in the wall in the slides. You can't hear them. So, but anyways, this is Larry Carlisle. I'll tell you a little bit about Larry. You might already know a little bit about him, but in case you don't, you're gonna want to know about him. So Larry Carlisle is also friends with many famous people. It's actually mentioned in the film. Like he's like, wow. Chino tells him at one point, wow, you know a lot of famous people. And here's one of them. This is one. I don't even know if this is going to make the cut, but this is Bob Eubanks and Larry Carlisle. Good pals. Good pals. And Bob Eubanks, for those of you that don't know, is the host of... What is he the host of, everybody? Does anybody know? Bob Eubanks, host of... Hello? I'll let you guys think about that. But Bob Eubanks right here is on the left, is host of another famous game show. Yes, that Bob Eubanks. That Bob Eubanks, yes. I'm going to say the answer if nobody is going to guess here. If you're guessing and I can't see it, I'm sorry. It's just, yes, Paul. No. Is he the dating game? Or is it the newlywed game? Or is it the newlywed game? It might be the newlywed game. Now you're making me doubt myself, Paul. I don't want to doubt myself. But anyways, this is just a case of Larry Carlisle, the newlywed game. It is the newlywed game. I knew it. Thank you. And anyways, that's Larry Carlisle. So yeah, there are several mentions of celebrities and things like that in this film. And let's see here. I'm going to try actually next time I do this, if I don't have a guest, next time I do this, I'm going to try and maybe do some new camera stuff, like draw, something as I talk or something. Let's see. Has there been anything I haven't shown? Okay, here you go. Who wants to see a shot of Cash Grab? Huh? Yeah. This is Cash Grab, the Cash Grab set. I know you've watched Cash Grab for years, and let's expand that a little bit. And yeah. So as you can see, there's a quite familiar face if you've been watching this show. Right about there. Wilt Fungus. That's right. This is spoiler territory, guys. Spoiler territory. But there's Greg. There's Colleen. Colleen's kind of difficult because she spells her name like this. So, but this is Larry. Hold it. And here's some of the... Oh, there's the grabber. There he is. Right there. Wah, wah. There's the grabber. You don't want to get the grabber. He'll get you. He'll take your cash. He'll grab your cash. You can double down, or you can risk it, or you can call on the cash cow, or grab a leaf off the money tree. There's all kinds of things in categories and stuff. So, but Cash Grab, Cash Grab, popular game show. Larry Carlisle is a seedy SOB, though. He's not a bad guy, but he just has a lot of bad habits, and it gets him into trouble. And no, it says no grabber, stop. Yes, Gary. Yes. By the way, thank you, That is an awesome Eubanks reference. Yes, thank you. That set is so fun. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, man. That is very nice. Thank you. But this is Cash Grab. And yeah, this pops up in the movie. One of the things about the Full Fungus is that it goes a lot of places. I'm just going to tell you. I mean, most of it takes place in LA, but you go to New York. Okay, it goes 2 places. But it goes all kinds of areas in LA. Okay, so different cities in the LA area. But it also, you get to see a game show, and you get to see jazz performances. You get to see underground nightclubs. You get like speakeasy type, modern day speakeasies. You get to see some of the celebrity life. You get to see some seedy, henchman stuff. You get to see the playing basketball in a city park. What else? There's a ton of stuff coming this way. So, but I'm serious fun. Yeah, they should make Cash Grab should exist in real life. That would be nice. So, but and then I looked up Cash Grab to see if somebody already was using this. If it was a real game show, and I didn't find anything with it. But I think in Larry's past, he's probably hosted some other shows too. In fact, if you pay attention very carefully in the Full Fungus, you will find out that that he indeed did host another game show for a while, kind of like a fill-in host mostly. And you could tell I'm scrambling for something. Hang on. And that show that Larry kind of guest hosted for, but some people know him from that show. What you're about to see is not Larry, but it is the show.
Well, Peter, since I'm such a big music fan, I'm going to have to go with Karen Carpenter. Oh, Stu, I'm sorry. That's the incorrect answer. Trish, what you got for us?
I'm going to go with Kim Gordon.
All right, let's check that answer. Kim Gordon. Do we have a Kim Gordon?
Yes, and that means you're our new Wordzoid champion, Trish. Dale, tell Trish what she's won.
Trish, you've won a copy of 2 stories, a memoir of faith and mental illness. Handwritten, hand-drawn, and handed to you by artist and writer Joshua Kemble. But wait, that's not all. You've also won a copy of Jacob's Apartment, the story of a doomed romance. What happens when you take Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and put it in a blender with Ghost World? You get Jacob's Apartment, written and illustrated by Joshua Kemble. Trish, thank you for playing Wordzoid.
All right, great job, Trish.
I was told I was going to get a lifetime supply of paper towels.
Oh, Trish. By the way, go check out Joshua Kemble, aka Josh Kemble, and on YouTube. He's making some really, really great videos. Especially lately, you got to check out his stuff. It's motivational, but it's not corny motivational. It's really good. So he's a great artist too, and a great friend. So well, I'm gonna, with my last 10 minutes or so here, I want to tell you, let's talk a little bit about story crafting and how to stay on target, because one of the things with this story, when I decided to do the Full Fungus as a feature, for one, it needs to be a feature. It could not have been a short, And by the way, Gary's still bummed that Stu didn't get that answer. I know, I thought Stu was going to win. But, Paul has a random, I thought it said he has a condom challenge for me. I think I need glasses. Does it involve a condom? Because if it doesn't, I'm out. Okay, so Paul, what is your challenge? You just let me know. I'll put it up here. Okay, I'm not going to read it yet. He just posted it, but I just want to say this real quick. One of the things with the full fungus is that it has a lot of different aspects to it. There's a lot of different faces on it. It's not just all one set. You know, it does jump around a lot. But what I'm doing is I'm really using a continual thread to keep it on target, because the story has to progress so that the audience doesn't go, I'm confused, or this is just too much, or this is just silly and there's no point. I wanted it to be like, okay, let's see what happens. At least, is this thing going to be resolved? Oh, it's resolved, but now there's a new problem. Is the new thing going to be resolved? So that's been the challenge with this, but it's, but I, from the get-go, I considered that, and I also am approaching everything with that in mind. Everything has to help the story progress and give it a good flow. One of the good things is that if I need something, if the story's getting a little slow here and it needs a little action, I have because I'm not working with a set script, I can add a scene, or I can move a scene here, so it's kind of cool. And I'm only working 2 or 3 scenes ahead at a time. For example, I have the opening basketball scene done. I'm working on the opening scene, the New York scene I was telling you about. And I've got the voices for the office scene, and there's a whole fight sequence and backstage of the fight. That's everything I'm working on right now. Then there's there's a game show scene and a scene at Stu's house and stuff, and that's going on. So I'm kind of doing it chronologically, but I'm also prepping ahead. It's kind of weird. So I guess you need to be crazy to make cartoons, right? It helps. Okay, Paul says, I want you to come up with 5 street gang names. I bet you $1 they are better than the 5 I took weed to come up with. Oh, Paul, you need them now? Can we let's also use audience participation? Oh, my street gangs will be terrible. Because my street gang names would be all really super silly, but then they would be like really tough, tough guys. Like, oh, Paul says he meant the right. Weeks, not weed. I did take weed, though. That's a great typo, by the way. He took weed to come up with. Oh, my God. Well, there's the South Side Tiptoers, and the Tiptoers are just, they don't refer to themselves as the Tiptoers. They call themselves Tito. I'm a Tito. But they're a pretty vicious gang. And what else? There's the Fly Boys with a Z, but they're not too tough. I don't know, Paul. Every name I come up with is going to be horrible. So I'd have to really sit down. If you want real names, I can sit down and look. You know what you do is you just look at real gangs. You just go talk to the real gangs. Just go there. Just knock, knock, knock. Open the door and go, hey, gang. And they are a gang. So they'll be, hey, that's you know. So that's what gangs do. They go with their shoulders. Hey, man, you know. So you should do that. Yeah. And then tell them, say, I did take weed, though. So, okay, here we go. Question. How do you feel about animations that leave bathroom breaks out of their plot lines? Well, I have a homework assignment for you guys that directly applies to that. I want you all to go watch a cartoon I did called En Fuego. And why do I say this? Because I'm going to show you something right now. In this cartoon, we are feverishly going onto YouTube. I probably could do it on here. I wonder. No, I'm just going to do it here. Okay, here we go. But I want you guys, this is one of my favorite cartoons that I've done, and of my own that I've done. But in it, there's a character called the Bathroom Buddy. And I want to show you why he's called the Bathroom Buddy. And here is why.
Small grenade. Hi. I can see you. Get away from me! I want to be your friend. Would you be my buddy? Police! Help! Do you like sitting on the toilet? Get away from me!
Male suspect. Don't care. Mustad.
Anyways, I really love Enfuego. If you guys can, please go watch it. It has a surprisingly low amount of views, but it's one of my favorite cartoons that I've done. And for me, it was like a good turning point too. So, but, is it set in the bathroom? No. Paul, are you really going to use the tiptoers? I hope you do. That's awesome. So, yeah, they're pretty rough, the tiptoers. So go watch Enfuego. That's one homework assignment. Also wanted to mention to you guys really quick on the side note is that Bill Plimpton's Slide, his next feature, the trailer just came out. So go to YouTube and type in Slide and don't do that. Type in Slide Bill Plimpton and watch the trailer. It's really good, really good. I do play one of the lead, a couple of voices in that film, but I do one of the leads as well. Play a villain who sounds exactly like Deathface. But whoa, who cares? I don't care, you know. So, if we have any more questions, you have about 5 minutes, and then I'm out of here. But so the cartoon's coming along good. The next couple of weeks are going to be like I have a lot of the materials now, and I'll be assembling stuff. Chris Runciman, whenever you send me the file to help work on that collaboration thing, I'll do it. More music coming soon. I hope you guys liked the jazz. Let me know what you guys think of the jazz. It is really ridiculous. It's not, obviously I'm not educated in jazz. I can't read music, but you know. And then Gary says, I'll get you the auto you wanted tomorrow or Tuesday at the latest. Well, Gary, it'd be a shame if something were to happen to that little DVSM 1979 book you're working on and finished. Tuesday. Okay. Go check out Gary Hodges. He has a book called DVSM, Dinosaurs versus Spaniards and Mexicans, I think. And it is fantastic. It's a series he has. This is the third book, I think, in the thing. And it's very scary. Gary's a really great artist, and he's just a fine young man. So go check it out. Gary and Chris and Paul and everybody. Obviously, if you want to put your URLs in the chat, do it. Do it. So Paul says about the music, sounded jazzy to me. When I recorded the first jazz one, which is this one here, hang on. It is Fungus number 7, I think is, let me hear. Yeah, this is the very first jazz one I recorded. And I was laughing hysterically. This one's obviously a studio recording because there's no audience. So. The whole thing's like this. Yeah, the entire song's like that. I laughed so hard when I did that because it's just so pretentious and awesome. And have you guys, let's see, have I played this one yet? Yeah, I played that one. This is the theme song. So right now I have, just so you guys know, I have Fungus number 5 done, number 8 done, number 7. Let me see if there's any more. I thought I had like 4 of them done. But the missing tracks from the full Fungus are like Fungus 9, 10, and 11, 12 or something. I don't know. There's like 3 or 4 missing ones. There's, as I think that's, I don't know. I'm not a jazz historian. So obviously I'm not a jazz historian. But and it's fun to do the music. Don't get me wrong. Okay, let me see if I have any more to show you here, kids. Gotta love Apple Search. Come on, man. 5, 6, yeah, I only have 3 of them done. So if I had more. That's the one with the audience. So, all right, so that's it. I hope, have you got a project that you've always wanted to try, but it doesn't follow your regular style? Yes, Chris, I do. Okay, this is the final question of the evening. Thank you guys for joining. Yes, I do. A few of them. Early on, I really wanted to do kind of what the Gorillaz do. Live action backgrounds mixed with animated characters. But it's been done, and I just don't really, I don't know. I just obviously didn't have time to do it. I kind of like what I'm doing now. And the way I look at the things I'm doing now is that they're their own little art pieces, but hopefully, and God be willing, somebody from with unlimited resources comes by and says, we want to make a film of this, or we want to do this, we want to option this. I would gladly do so. But for what they are, I consider myself like a pulp novel writer. That's exactly what I consider. I'm not trying to make Disney animation. I'm just trying to make really weird little, fairly quickly done stories, and lots of them, and just create this whole universe. And everything in it is interesting. That's the main thing. It's an interesting place to be, and it has some legs to it. I mean, you can't watch only this, but people seem to like to binge watch my stuff, and that's because I think it's interesting enough to binge watch. But yeah, it's dark, but yet it's funny, and it looks like it should be filthy, but yet it's not really filthy. Although the full Fungus will be a hard PG-13. That's my goal. Might have the F word in it. I don't know. So F word meaning fungus. And with that, Paul says, I've always wanted to do an outer space film. No, I would do it. No. If I wanted to do a barbarian movie or a thriller or sci-fi, I would do it. I did Foreverland, so that's total sci-fi, although it's mixed with my style too. So, but no, everything I've done, I don't do because I feel like it has to stay within my world. I do it because it calls to me. And again, I really do see myself more as like a pulp novel writer. That's why everyone's like a one-off, but they're kind of connected, you know. And I like that. And when I want to do something different, I'll do something different. So Christopher has the last comment of the evening. He says, your work is great to watch one after another. Thank you, Christopher. I really do appreciate that. All right. So with that, I will say thank you guys for tuning in. And wow, we kept the solid number the whole show. And I don't even have co-host today. So, all right. Well, I got my notes, and I'm going to keep on chugging. So thank you guys for watching, and I will be back soon. And full fungus, it's going on. You can check my stuff out on Patreon if you want, and most of you already do. And I'll say thank you for your support. And that's how you end the show. That's right. All right. Good night. Good night. You're welcome. All right, you guys. Thank you, guys. And you guys are great. I really do get motivation from you guys. So thank you. I do appreciate it. Okay, guys. You have a good night. Bye. And cut.